Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back. We have the iPhone 5. Just a straight out 5. It's not an S or a C, it's just a 5, right? Never had one before myself. I've had 6, 6S, I got a 7, had an 8, SE, a number of them anyways. But you know what? We were never into Apple phones until we moved to the country. So that was like, well, this year will be, I believe, the starting of 8 years or into 8 years. I don't know, somewhere around there. About 8 years ago. Anyways, we were always Android people. And because we lived in the city, who cared? We had a phone, we made phone calls, and you know, I don't know what she did on her phone back in the day. I know what she does on her Apple phone though, because she's got the whole ecosystem, right? So anyway, I picked this up on a trade deal with my buddy. It's part 2 of the trade. Actually, the first part was that iPad Mini 1. This one actually has iOS 10. Oh, where is it here? Frig. 10.3.4. Comes with iOS 6 though, but it has 10.3.4 on it, which is awesome because my iPad, there was a few games I tried to download on it and they're like, not happening. Or if they did, they didn't even fire up. Well, I did some downloading and I got Word Connect back, I got a few others back, and some that didn't run before now run under iOS 10. And you can grab regular apps from the App Store as well. You just got to read what version of iOS. There should still be quite a number of supported apps. A ton of stuff in my purchase area is actually fine for, 10 and, some stuff below 10. But other than that, not much more. But otherwise, it's like iOS 12 and to current that I'm at right now. So I do have quite a few apps in my purchase area that no problem getting them down on this. A few of them didn't want to, but they were for like iOS 11 or 12 or whatever, right? Type of thing. But so at least I got some more games, and that's kind of cool. I also even downloaded the Oculus speed test program. Now, it did give me an older version, which is fine, but it gives me an idea what our Wi-Fi at least is like on this thing. And let's fire that up. Now, this changes every time you do the test, even with the same server. But, some servers are definitely going to be a lot faster, that sort of thing. It kind of varies. I mean, this is average ideas, right? Because ping and jitter always change. But, that's pretty respectable right now for the download. I did get almost 60 down on my last test, so that went pretty good. And this one seems to be doing quite well, too. It's almost at 19. So we've got 41.6 down and 18.4 up. That's actually pretty respectable even for an older Wi-Fi system that is in here. I have not tried to actually connect this to my other router yet, but it definitely had no problem going to my 300 megabit router. So I still want to try my newest router. I doubt highly it's going to, because I know iOS 9 won't do our gigabit router, but we have a secondary router that we use because we do have some older tech in the house that will not connect to a gigabit router because it's too new security stuff, right? So it's kind of like, well, whatever, and we can't switch it backwards, so we have the other one to piggyback. Anyway, works. So as far as apps goes, there's definitely going to be a lot of choices for you under iOS 10, which is good. So you're definitely going to have a lot of apps there. I don't know how high this watch app goes for watches, but I don't have one. My wife does. So anyways, but we do have FaceTime on here. That'll more than likely work without a problem still. Messages, obviously, for texting. The phone part's going to work. It does have hands-free. Does have Bluetooth in this. Don't know if it connects to my car yet because I'm going to need a cell card for this. And that's apparently going to be tomorrow's job. I was hoping to go today, but it's really super cold outside. And it's like, well, tomorrow's supposed to be +6. And it's like, well, yeah, maybe we'll go tomorrow. So anyways, so yeah, I'm going to see about maybe putting this on a cell plan. Not sure if I'm going to or not. Kind of depends on what they offer me for a deal. I did check online though, and they got some good deals, but not quite what I'm looking for. And I always seem to get a better deal if I go to the kiosk, and I don't have to wait in the mail for a week for a freaking SIM card. I can get it right on the spot. But this won't go on a 2-year contract. It'll be like a month-to-month kind of deal because it's like bring your own phone and go month-to-month. I guess, yeah, see if I like it. Battery health on this is like 81%, so it's not going to get you through an entire day at 81% health, that's for sure. Well, it might get me through the whole day if I limit my calls, that's for sure. But I am thinking about either way. I'm going to put a new battery in this anyhow down the road. I'm just waiting for Amazon to get them back in stock because they're only 22 bucks on Amazon. iFixit has it right now for $49.99 Canadian, plus of course tax and shipping. I'm like, I can get Prime on Amazon, so free shipping, and then I only pay 22 bucks in tax, but I have to wait for the battery to come back up in stock. They got tons of them for the 5C and the 5S, but everybody's out of stock on this one right now. So I'll have to wait. But anyway, I can wait. I'm sort of patient for that sort of thing. The IPS display on this, the panel, is really super nice. Very super clean too. It's like, wow. Now, overall condition of this phone, I would rate as excellent because it does still have 81% health. It only has a little bit of wear and tear on here, you know, from the paint coming and, you know, a little bit down there. It does only have one speaker down below and a headphone jack. And of course your earpiece for yakking on the phone with is obviously there. You've got your 2 buttons for up and down for ringer or volume. And of course your silent mode switch as well. This actually does have a flashlight, though they didn't give us a flashlight program unless I'm missing something, but I did download a couple from the regular app store because these were not in my purchase area. And so it's like, well, now I got a flashlight program, so that works pretty good for me. Newer Apple phones, obviously we do have a flashlight program built in now, so it's kind of like, well, whatever. But this thing, well, separate app, and that's fine. And you will find there will be quite a few apps probably still on the App Store that will work under iOS 10, okay? You're not going to find a ton for 9, and you definitely are going to find either hardly anything or nothing at all for 6, okay? So, but 10.3, yeah, definitely we got some good selection there of different apps we can run on this thing still. Now, the 1080p camera on the back is fabulous at 8 megapixel, and the 720p at 1.2, also very good. So no issues there. Cameras work fine, recording's fine, all that jazz. This one has 32 gigs of storage in it. They did have a 16, 32, and 64. The average price, according to the worldwide of the internet, these things average between $20 to $35, okay? So that's probably even the most you would expect to pay at a pawn shop. And the pawn shop should be pretty reasonable if they do get a 5 in and say, okay, well, we'll give it to you for 30 bucks in tax, right? Because you're going to pay tax. You're not going to get off the hook on that one. But pawn shops even shouldn't be charging, even in Canada, more than the maximum of $35, even for one that's absolutely cherry, even with a new battery in it. You know, and you can bet they're not going to put a battery into anything. You know, they get them in. If it functions, fine. They don't care about health or anything. Does it function? Sure. Okay. Throw it up and sell it, right? But yeah, 20 to 35 bucks, that's the going rate for the 5, okay? Now, this thing is still going to be okay for a phone, from what I can gather from information, because it is LTE capable. And there are still probably most, if not all, cell phone carriers still work with the LTE service. The 4 and the 4S, bye-bye. They're not going to work as phones apparently anymore, unless you probably live in some country where they are still supporting those network protocols. But here in wonderful Canada, LTE, 5G, yeah, we got that. 3G, 4G, depending on where you are location-wise, your phone could switch down to 4G or 3G for your stuff. But otherwise, yes, this does support LTE. I checked with my carrier. They're still supporting LTE on their website for plans. So it's like, fantastic. So thank goodness this was not an iPhone 4, or I would be screwed, because I did look up the 4 and the 4S, and yeah, my carriers don't support any of those other protocols, so they're below that range. So it's like, well, whatever, hey, you do what you do, right? So how much longer we got with this? As long as they still have LTE, we can still use this as even just a regular phone. Now, software-wise, there's No more security updates, hasn't been any in quite some time. So you're kind of taking your chances. Even if you are currently running a 5 and you're signed into stuff, you're definitely risking your identity, your credit cards, and bank accounts. So my advice, you got something like this, you got any iOS period that is not a current supported iOS, get the heck out of there. Sign out of that garbage before you do lose your identity, okay? I have no problem surfing to YouTube. This thing has no problem with that. It can go to Amazon, it can go to many different websites. It's one thing to view stuff, but do not do any online ordering, pay bills, none of that jazz, okay? Sign in only to Apple, and that's it, because Apple at least keeps you secure on their website. But anything away from their website, hey, gloves are off, man. It's the chances you take, okay? So just keep that in mind. But regular surfing and absorbing content won't be a problem as long as you're not signing in. And you don't have to sign into YouTube to watch everybody's videos, okay? So just so you know, okay? Now, back in the day, I would probably have easily given this thing an easy 4.5 out of 5 on a review, okay? In today's standards and how this thing is usable, etc., I would probably have to knock that back to like 3 3/4 to be realistic. As far as, you know, it's still worth getting if you need a really super cheap phone and you're just going to use it as a phone, do texting, maybe your FaceTime. You're just going to surf without signing into stuff until you can't surf anymore. You can definitely download and play games on this thing because I got some in here. All right, and you can definitely always use the camera in this thing forever. So even once this thing is no more good for the internet and definitely no more good as a regular phone, you've got a really nice device here for recording videos with, especially on that back 8 megapixel camera that's 1080p 30 frames per second. And if you are looking for even a cheap and expensive good 1080p at 30 frame with good picture at 8 megapixel for even having it as another source of recording an angle of a video, this is perfect. And it's small, you know, and I even have one of these tripods here with the phone mount, and it fits perfect. There's no hassle. It's gonna stay. So that's also a bonus. Anyhow, for now, this is all I have for you, but do stay tuned for a little bit more. But I think I'm very reasonable at today's star rating versus, you know, when it came out. And I do really like the phone. I can't wait to try this thing on a cell network. Also shoot some videos for you guys because I'm kind of curious how well the mic is also going to pick up playing guitar and singing at the same time, as well as just picking up audio, period. How well the mic actually works. And of course, I want to know what the playback is like for sound quality on my computer when I transfer the file over. Also, just before we go, this does support AirDrop with iOS 10. So you can AirDrop your files from your phone to your Mac and then do your editing there. Because even I would not want to edit video on a 4-inch screen. Even though you can do it and you can get iMovie for this, I would never consider it. It's too small for that, for screen size for editing video. I'd be like, how am I going to do this? Okay, the thing is, you can do it. That's the thing. You can actually do it, right? So, but that's it. That's all. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to check that link in the video description if you want all the details. Okay, and we'll definitely see you guys in the next one. Ciao.